MLP Series Review, Season 1, Episode 9, Bridle Gossip. This episode is excellent. One of the best of the series. So, uh, this is not really I guess it's technically a Twilight episode. It follows her mostly, but it's mostly everyone, main six-wise. Uh, what happens is, uh, all of the ponies are being real weird and they're hiding in the homes. And it's because they're hiding from Zakura, a new character, a zebra, and it's because they think she's like uh, weird and evil, an evil enchantress in Pinkie Pie's words. And she doesn't really do anything bad, but they just assume she's bad because she's different. So Apple Bloom is also here, and Apple Bloom's like, "I'm gonna go talk to her." It's 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 the it's kind of Luna Eclipse before Luna Eclipse, but also like to it, it's not the same. That's why Luna Eclipse is so good because it's not the same. Because like Apple Bloom wants to talk to Zakura, but Zakura is like not really hurt. She's not really like, oh man, I'm hurt because these ponies aren't talking to me. Whereas that one was more like, uh, whereas Luna Eclipse was like, we're terrified of her and she's going to murder us. This one is more like we're terrified of her and she's going to do bad things to us, but Zakura's motivation and uh, Luna's motivation are completely different. Zakura honestly doesn't seem like she cares if anybody likes her at all. She's just like, I'm going to be me and I don't even care. Whereas Luna's like, I want you guys to like me because that's what I've wanted since the beginning was to be loved. Um, so what happens is Zakura leaves because no one's there, no one's coming out, and like she goes to Ponyville to get materials, but they never come out or talk to her or anything, so she can't. So she leaves, and Apple Bloom follows her, and then the main six follow Apple Bloom, and then the main six catch Apple Bloom, and they run into Poison Joke, and Zakura tells them, "You guys are in Poison Joke, maybe don't," and they don't understand because she speaks in riddles, not riddles, in rhymes, and so the next day, well, Twilight has a nightmare that uh, she's going to be cursed, and the entire time Twilight's like curses aren't real, and then like she wakes up with the thing, and she's she's got her horn cursed. We get really she's got her horn cursed. She's got her horn changed. We got really good changes. We got Twilight's horn being that Twilight Flopple. We get Applejack being small, Apple teeny. We get Pinkie Pie's tongue way too big, Spitty Pie. We get Fluttershy's voice changed to a deep manly voice, Flutter Guy. We get Rarity's hair just overgrown and bushy, and that's Rarity. And then we get Rainbow Can't Fly whatsoever, and that's Rainbow Crash. They're all pretty good foils for them. Like they do go well with their characters and how it makes them like fun. It's funny because they're the complete opposite of what they like to be. Except for Fluttershy, but hers is the strongest and the funniest, so I don't even care. It's really funny when she won't talk, and then she first talks, and it's like a deep, manly voice. Like, it's really funny. We get the Evil Enchantress song, which isn't that great when Pinkie Pie does it, but when Flutter Guy does it, it's absolutely hilarious. It's really funny. So Apple Bloom had they have a meeting. They don't have a meeting. They just get together and they talk about it or whatever. And Apple Bloom's there, and she's like, "I'm just gonna go," and she goes because she wants to talk to Zakura about it or whatever. And the main six finally notice that she left. I think Applejack realizes that she's leaving and she tries to follow her, and all of the main six are like, "Oh my gosh, we sat on her," and they're like we might have sat on Applejack, but it's not. She just left, and Apple Bloom puts her on a tree and still goes to Zakura. So the main six go and they find Applejack and they go because they want to go stop Apple Bloom because they think that Sakura's going to murder her. And we get the Flutter Guy song. And Twilight gets really weird in this episode because she's all like super aggressive and she's like, yeah, she cursed us and she this and this and that. like it takes so much to convince Twilight in uh the Pinkie Pie episode, Feeling Pinkie Keen. It it takes so much to convince her that Pinkie can do the things that she can do and it's not explainable. But in this episode, she's just like, curses aren't real. And then she has a dream and she wakes up and she's like, curses are real. It's like, whoa, slow down there, Twilight. So, anyways, they invade Sakura's house and they like kind of fight with her and they tip over the cauldron that she was making stuff in. And yeah, they get really aggressive with each other. And then they're like, where's Apple Bloom? And Apple Bloom comes in and she's like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. And like, Twilight's like, no, she cursed you and she's gonna eat you, and Twilight or Apple Bloom's like, Twilight, did these silly dorks convince you that curses are real? And like Twilight, like really condescendingly, frankly enough, she's like, you can't tell me that curses aren't real. Look at, and Apple Bloom's like, curses aren't real. And what ends up happening is, yeah, everything is explained. Zakura's not bad at all. Obviously, she doesn't even have a bad bone. Zakara is an ultra benevolent character in this series. She's like purely good, like all the time, 100%, no negative traits whatsoever. Maybe because she's supposed to be like an African representative, and like I guess they were like, no, we're gonna make her super benevolent. I like her. I think Zakara is a great character. So what happens is, yeah, the cure for the poison joke is just a bubble bath with certain ingredients, and Twilight Twilight's like, how come I couldn't find it? And Sakura's like, oh, it's in this book. And Twilight's like, oh, and like Sakura's like, it's a shame you don't have it. And Twilight's like, I do have it. She's like, I just overlooked it because the title was weird. Again, excellent message. Don't judge your book by its cover. This is a message that has been passed for years and years and years, and it's still true today. And what happens is they become really good friends with Sakura. Sakura becomes like a huge character in the series as well. She's maybe not as big as Trixie, but she is very important. She's in a lot of episodes and she does a lot of stuff like all the time. In fact, Sakura is the reason that Twilight is able to defeat Trixie when Trixie comes back and tries to when she banishes Twilight from town. The message is great to Princess Celestia, not to judge a book by its cover, to look a little deeper because our inside is what counts, not what's on the outside, and that's phenomenal. Everyone should learn that message. Yeah, just a really really good episode. You got a lot of really funny sight gags. You got a lot of really funny jokes. The part where Applejack is like, "Can somebody please explain to me what Sakura means?" because she says something in rhymes, and then Sakura says something else in a rhyme, and she's like, "Yeah, I still don't at all get what she's saying." It is really funny. Um, the Flutter guy stuff is hilarious because it's just such a uh, absurd absurd joke for Fluttershy, a cute little yellow Pegasus, to have a voice like that. Um, yeah, just a really, really overall great episode. Even better than great. I definitely say this is a 5-star episode. 5 out of 5 stars. Uh, and it introduces a really good character that becomes integral to a lot of the story in Sakura. So yeah, 5 stars out of 5 stars. I really enjoy this episode.